Bismarck today. I've actually been in Bismarck for 2 weeks, and I thought I'd film this video because I missed my pens in use last Friday. I got done with my last class on Thursday, drove home, was kind of late getting home, but whatever, it was, driving from Bismarck to where I live, it takes a little while. And I spent the weekend sick. So, yeah, I didn't really even water my garden. I did nothing except pretty much lay on my couch until Sunday when I thought, oh no, I got a class on Monday. So I drove to class, not feeling good, and slept here. I'm feeling a lot better now. I don't get sick very often, but that's twice this summer. And it was the worst this week. 4 days, and it was so hot. And I think I've said I don't have air conditioning. Now, in this motel room I do, so that's pretty awesome. But anyway, this is a video. It's just an extra video with no real topic to it, but I thought I'd do a little pens in use. I'm actually not going to do a writing sample because I don't have the equipment with me. I will show you some of the notes I've been taking. I'm going to talk a little bit about education too, because why not? A little bit of everything. So I'm recording this on my laptop too, so this is what I'm carrying with me. I was going to ink up some fun and exciting pens for my use during this, and like I said, I just felt like heck, and didn't happen. So what I have here, let's get this right. This is a Tulip Click, Conklin word gauge. What is this one? Oh, dollar pen. Sailor Realo new pen. I'm going to pull out the new pen because you haven't seen him before. This, I stopped in Staples Tuesday night. I was done with class, and I since I was in Bismarck, I went to the Barnes & Noble, and then after Barnes & Noble, I didn't actually buy much in Barnes & Noble for a change, but I went to Staples. I was just curious because somebody had asked me if they could buy fountain pen ink at Staples, so I looked. They actually had a pretty good shelf of fountain pens and such for a Staples in Bismarck, North Dakota. Bunch of Pilot Metropolitans with the fun new finishes. There was some kind of a Pentel. There was a Schaefer of some kind, and then the Parker Jotter, which I'd never in the flesh seen a Parker Jotter fountain pen. And Parker isn't a brand I'm particularly in love with, but I bought one. Looks like honestly, the nib looks like a Parker Vector nib. But the pen's a little more comfortable to hold than a Parker Vector, so I've been using that a little bit. And you'll see it right in the pens in use. You get right here. Lamy 2000 with a broad nib left over from my Kyonuto ink review, which you have not seen yet. Let's see. Platinum 3776 with a music nib, which is loaded with Lamy black. I'm using that for my notes. You'll see some of where I use that in a few minutes. Platinum 3776 load. No, that isn't. Sorry. That is a Pilot Custom 823 bonus. Put it in front of the right camera here. I'm using my laptop, and then I brought a small camera to do some photography with on the way home, and I thought, hey, why not film this video? But anyway, it is empty. Luckily, right beside it, and you're not going to see this performance on video. I bought a Visconti ink pot a year or two ago, thinking I would use it. Well, I really don't. But I'm actually going to use it tonight. But like I said, you're not going to watch me use it because I've never used it before, and I'm kind of scared I'll make a mess. But I have it filled up with ink because I thought, hey, I'm probably going to use up the pen. And I inked up that particular pen last week for my class with the idea I would use it up, and it's a pen with large capacity, and I didn't, but this week I did. It's empty right now. And then finally a Platinum 3776 soft fine loaded up with Platinum Carbon Black. I'm actually kind of tempted just to use the Parker Jotter and the Platinum 3776 tomorrow and clean out the Pilot pen tonight. I'll be home next week. I can ink up whatever for fun, and I had it in my head to get down to no pens and to start fresh, so this may be my chance. So those are the pens I have with me. I've been taking notes. This class actually, let me grab one of the books here. every day we get a new module like this that we work through, and it has a lot of stuff printed in it. So I've actually been writing stuff in it with the idea this will be my answer key, because we have electronic access to these same things with an actual answer key in them. So I thought my work combined with the electronic version will give me good resources. So I've been using this to do most of my writing. Now I do a little writing. I got to be careful here because I've got somebody's name on a few of these pages. Like this one, but I'll just cover up the... Okay, we won't use that page because there's too much to cover up. We'll do this one. I had a lot of writing on it, but not... for a whole day, that's not a lot of notes because most of my notes are in that other book. So then what I started doing is I started doing sketch notes. Now I need to grab a pen because I have a personal name here and a personal email address. Not mine. My commenters have pretty much given away who I am, and I've given away the rest, so we'll let that rest. But my instructor hasn't asked for this, so I will cover his or her name. And just show you, oops, man, I just almost showed it there. So, yeah, I did, after I got home from the first day, I did some sketch notes and showed kind of the ideas we did the first day, which was about intermolecular forces. I didn't get into all the math or all the details of the labs, but enough information and graphs and so on and words. Sketch notes aren't cartoons, so I really am using it. The second day of class, we actually finished the module on the third day, so I haven't done that sketch note yet. That's my plan after I finish this video. And then the third day, we actually finished it all today, so that's done. So I'm probably going to be doing 2 sets of sketch notes, and actually that brings up another good point. I've mentioned before about binders and notebooks and so on. And I've been thinking about doing another note-taking video. Excuse me. One of my thoughts, this is a binder. I don't know which camera I'm holding it up to. Is it my laptop or the one I brought with me for photography? I'm probably going to have to charge that battery before I drive home because that's when I'll be doing the photography. But anyway, this is the binder I used. It's a Kokuyo binder. It's notebook shaped, but when I get back to my document camera, maybe I'll have to do a video on this anyway. But the idea is you press this, and then, let's do this camera. You press this, and then it'll open up the teeth. And then you can slide out the paper and so on. And then put it into the bigger binder, which I didn't bring with me for obvious reasons, but which is at home. I brought several types of paper in it. A lot of this sort of just lined paper. I actually had some cool paper that was lined and had dots on it, so it could be used as graph paper. I'm down to 1 sheet of blank paper, but I have more with me. And then there's this paper that's this fold-out lined paper. I haven't actually used it in this session at all for my sketch notes because I think the graph paper's better. Best would have been blank, but I can't find it. And then they also have this fold-out graph paper, which is what I'm using for my sketch notes. Now I did bring along, because it's a teaching thing, I brought along this. I've been taking notes for, well, it started just for my my new STEM class, but then I've been adding other notes as I learn things. I learned a big one during this class that I will be using. So anyway, I kind of like a bound journal. That's a little bit better for just brainstorming and random thoughts. Stuff you might later want to reorganize or sort belongs in a binder. I think school type stuff might be better in a binder. Like I said, the brainstorming more would belong in this. Or, from novel writing, it would belong in this. So this is a Cognitive Surplus notebook, which is a brand I've grown to really like a lot. They're awesome with fountain pens. Really cool covers and lined paper and graph paper. It's backwards from how I'm seeing it. Awkward. So I'm really liking that. So how am I liking the class so far? Well, what I'm taking is it's called the National Math and Science Initiative. They may have even come to your state as recently. It's a national group. They do well-recognized courses to prepare teachers to teach AP chemistry or physics or biology. They have additional programs for English language arts, middle school, science and math. There's an elementary program, and I think there's a high school math program also. And what they're actually doing, this program that I'm in is called Laying the Foundations, which is more applicable to me because it's about setting the basics. And I have taught chemistry for many years, but I just found out this summer that, oh yeah, you're not teaching chemistry anymore because it's awkward for the schedule, so they're giving it to somebody else. So I guess I wish I'd signed up for physics right now, but it is what it is. And I think I've found some stuff anyway in this that'd be useful for this new STEM class, my physical science, the way I'd really like to rearrange the science program where I teach, and maybe even a little bit in physics. And worst case scenario, it's something I put in my resume when I apply for a new job somewhere else. So it's been good. Maybe I'll have to reflect on it at some point. I guess one of the things I would point out, if you go on YouTube, you can find a lot of videos by people like Ken Robinson, Ted Dintersmith, and so on. A lot of rah-rah, you need to improve education, you can do it, projects are awesome, and that kind of stuff. And you're excited, and then you go home and you think, wait a second, how do I do that? So, this is going to sound awkward, but one of the things with education, what is one of the obstacles standing in the way of improving education in this country? Well, you're looking at one. People like me. Now, I have good intentions. I would like to improve education. But heck, I went to school in the 80s and 90s. I finished college in the 90s. I'm a product of an old way of teaching. Now, in my defense, so are most of my much younger colleagues. Most of us just do not know how to teach in a new way. We can't conceive of it, which is why classes like this are helpful to teach us how, but it's really easy to default to the old way. When you're my age, you've actually seen one or two things come and go and come back again, and you say, well, when will this trend run its course? And that's a fault of the education industry. Why do they keep letting these things run in cycles? Why don't we stick with a reform? And some of the reforms are stupid. I'm glad we don't stick with them, so there's that too. But anyway, that's a big obstacle. And then as teachers, we just don't know how to teach in a new way. Our students don't know how to learn in a new way, so we have to teach them how to learn in a new way. They'll resist that because they're more conservative than the adults, honestly. Parents don't like their kids being taught in a new way because it's not like how they were taught, god darn it. What's even worse are the people who don't have kids, don't hear their kids frustrated with school, but by golly, they know how education should be because that's how it was when their own kids were in school 30 years ago. And they're some of the toughest. And of course, you have that element that listens to Breitbart or Fox News telling you how the public schools are trying to brainwash them. So you have all those things working against reform. I think we can get the parents and kids on board. Those others, I don't know how to get them on board. I think we can get the teachers on board. I mean, do you want to teach in a class where you're standing at the board lecturing, giving notes, or do you want to teach in a class where kids are creating and discovering and making mistakes and learning from the mistakes and motivated to come to school? It's not a question to me. I hate and hard to believe from YouTube, but YouTube is such a one-way format that I guess. But I don't like a long lecture. Yes, I do those driving videos, but again, how do you make them interactive? So they are what they are. And yes, that's the reason you didn't get a driving video last week. I do have something cool planned for my pens in use this week. I thought I had something cool planned for my driving video, but I don't. Sadly, the road I was going to take you down was abandoned some time ago, and I looked at it and I said, no way in hell I'm taking a Toyota Camry down that. So I didn't. But I may take you on Google Maps and just let you see the satellite version of it. there is something down there that I have a point in showing you, so I'll do it. I'm also on the driving videos coming up on where the DAPL protests took place. Last 2 weeks, I've actually taken classes with some teachers from the schools where the DAPL protests took place, so that's interesting too. I haven't decided how I'm going to handle the DAPL protests in my video. That's a bit more complicated than one side or the other would lead you to believe, and honestly I don't have good footage because, well, I just never felt comfortable pulling off and taking some good footage with a video camera. So anyway, well, I'll deal with that when I deal with it. That's neither here nor there. So I'm at my last night in Bismarck, trying to decide what to do. I had actually cheaped out. I decided to buy food at the grocery store and just eat that all week. But the refrigerator here is a freezer. It can't seem to find the knob to turn it down, so I went to the desk and they said, "Oh, we'll take care of it," after, all the food I bought had frozen and was wasted. And yeah, you know me, there's a lot of vegetables and fruit, so when it thaws out, it's not going to be nearly as good. It'll be mush. So it's just like, okay, so let's see. The first night I was able to eat the food I bought at the grocery store because it hadn't frozen yet, didn't know it was going to freeze. Second night, which was last night, I ate at Applebee's, which was a very flavorless meal. The meat was good, but the rest of it was just kind of bland and flavorless. And then tonight, I don't know where I'm going to eat, but somewhere. I'm probably going to find somewhere in walking distance. I know I should go downtown in Bismarck and experience Bismarck culture, but I just don't feel like it. So I'm not going to. Kind of fun. One thing with doing these pen reviews, I told you this would be random. I recorded it a few weeks ago, but I uploaded video this week of my, not Oscar Swan maybe Todd. I forget the number, but anyway, it was a cursive italic nib, and a couple people said, "Yeah, that writes really well." I had a comment that, "Yeah, it's a nice looking pen." Then I had comments about, "Wait, that nib doesn't match the pen." Well, I didn't know that. Turns out that the previous owner of the pen, which I learned all this through my comments, which I haven't responded to as of this filming, but the previous owner of my pen had actually put a Swan maybe Todd nib onto the pen because it didn't have one, but it wasn't a nib that matched the pen. So kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to studying these comments more deeply and trying to figure out what went on with that pen. But that's one of the neat things with this, is I am getting some interaction. I passed 1,000 subscribers. Now that I will be home and before school starts, because once school starts it's just hard to get to the post office when it's open. But now that I'm home, I'm looking at doing some kind of giveaway to celebrate my 1,000th view. I have a pen brand that I've reviewed 2 of the models, and I have 3. I'm thinking about including them in the giveaway, and maybe a couple other surprises. I don't know yet. I'm not going to give away a pen I hate. Not going to give away one I love either. Sorry, the Centro pen will not be a part of the giveaway. But I have at least one vintage pen I might give away in that list. I have to figure out the rules and legality of doing a giveaway, so that is yet to come. But project for after this chemistry class is over. So if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. Then whatever. So yeah, giveaway. What else is exciting? Looking at the floor here, thinking I had something laying here, but I don't. Not getting around Bismarck the way I'd planned. I've got reading, haven't gotten done. School's gonna start toward the end of August, so I'm running out of free time in the summer. Garden looks like hell because of the drought. I have an incredibly nice neighbor who volunteered to water it while I was gone. Next year I'm looking at getting a drip tape system to water it. I don't know if I'll do timers or not, but I figure it won't be too hard for her if she has to turn it on, walk away, and then come back like an hour later or something and turn it off. I'll figure out something, but yeah, it's a lot of work taking care of the garden and watering it when you don't get rain to help. We did have a thunderstorm on my way back from Bismarck last week. I took dash cam footage. I had trouble with the dash cam again, so I was going to try and fix it last weekend, but I was so sick I got nothing done. But this coming week I will try to fix it and get it off the dash cam. So I didn't take any footage on the way to Bismarck this time, but I didn't really go anywhere exciting on my trip to Bismarck this time anyway. Air conditioner in here kicked on. That's one thing. Staying in a motel I could get used to is the air conditioner, but it does make it a little harder to go outside when it's super hot. So I don't know if air conditioning is in my future for the house, but it's something I'm considering. And since this is a random video, one more thing I'll throw out there. Kurzgesagt, and I'll put a link to this in the video description down below. Kurzgesagt actually did a video just recently about kind of the point of life. And I liked it. You know, to just be happy. Your life is a blip in the history of the universe. You're really nothing compared to the universe. So do what makes you happy. Make other people happy. And don't worry about it. There's no great meaning to your life, just to live it. It's cool that we even exist. Some people try to give themselves more meaning through religion or whatever, but honestly, when I start thinking about the descriptions of heaven where we spend an eternity worshiping God, I think, ooh, that sounds more like hell where we have to worship something. A dictator that if we don't worship him, he'll lock us up in our basement and torture us forever with fire. Not really my kind of deal. So anyway, if you're into that kind of thing, I'll give you a link. I'll be back tomorrow with a pens in use. It might be late though. Well, we'll see. It may end up being uploaded Saturday morning, just because of depends on when I get back home. This is kind of my last hurrah before school starts. If I get anywhere, it won't be too far. Oh, I guess in pen news, I made a planned pen purchase. I've been planning this since spring. I made it. The pen will be here tomorrow. Well, it won't be here. It'll be in my house tomorrow. I looked at the tracking. It's actually in Bismarck right now, and I'm in Bismarck. But you know, do I stop at the Bismarck post office and say, "Hey, you have a package that's destined for this small town way out in the middle of nowhere? Can I just pick it up here?" I'm pretty sure that won't work. So I'll just be patient, wait till tomorrow. And then I have another pen. Kind of exciting. I was contacted by somebody who said, "Well, you monetize your videos. How much do you make on it?" And I was like, "Nothing," because I have gotten no checks. Well, as it turns out, I'm a dumbass and don't know how to turn on everything. So I was actually paid, and I know from the terms I can't give you dollar amounts, but I was paid some back pay. And I've actually turned down a substantial amount of back pay just because I was a dumbass and didn't turn it on. But anyway, enough that even though I'm on a pen buying hiatus, yes, I know I bought the Parker Jotter. Shh. I'm just so excited to see fountain pens at Staples in Bismarck. But I bought another nice pen that is also waiting in the post office. No more planned purchases, anything more off of the channel. I actually have another plan for it. I want to change how I do my writing samples. It's either that or possibly create a studio in the basement, in kind of an unused part of the basement. That'll take a little bit of money to finish the wall down there and move a couple of things. So anyway, any more money I make off the channel for the near future is going to go toward either the tripod or that project. So we'll see. But I'm going to be filming a bunch more reviews ahead before school starts. So hopefully they can take me well into school. And then I also hope to film some pen rodeos, possibly some more ink stuff. You'll get some of those other kind of videos. And my honest to God hope is to stretch out the video making with my current collection of pens and not buy any more pens until next summer. And just see how I feel about further purchases at that point. So, yeah, this is a rambly video. I see it's 4 o'clock my time. It's 5 o'clock Bismarck time. Either way, it's too early for supper. So maybe I'll edit this video together and figure life out. So thank you for watching. I'll do pens in use with something unique that I don't think you've ever seen on any pen review channel ever tomorrow. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.